meetings and very accessible to constituents, and having been on the trail with him,
that's fair.
they don't have any problem challenging their congressman in person and vigorously. So he has some
I think he missed most of the playtime.
He will talk about,
Jax is smacking him with his tail on.
These so-called religious, cultural issues are not where his focus is. So he will likely give an answer on the issues that he supports, where his positions are, and then try to move back to some of the issues that are more his expertise. It will be a challenge, but he will also try to help pull the ticket away from some of those hot-button issues, because he can credibly argue that that isn't where he has made his political career. That isn't where he has invested himself, and it is not where he has scored political points.
Here you go.
So he's got some credibility there to step away from some of those
Jax
issues
is agitated.
without some of the sort of, when we think of other candidates who were in the Republican field, where they would have jumped right in.
Jax jumped at him.
I know, several times. Jax wants to play, but Harvey's done.
Stand in the kind of the white hot spotlight, but there is a confidence, and he has been I think a very vocal and visible surrogate where he's had some chance to test that out. I'm sure that sources and those close to helping Mitt Romney make this decision, I'm sure they reviewed a lot of the tapes, a lot of the Sunday show appearances. He has been a frequent guest on those programs because he is able and gives responses. So that's part of what they must have calculated in looking at Paul Ryan as the second name on the ticket.
Well, let's go to Alex Moe. She's been our producer that's been following around Paul Ryan for weeks. Somebody that Paul Ryan referred to. She's been following him enough that he thinks sometimes you're a member of his family. Set the scene right there on the ground. Are more people showing up?
I don't know why you do
You see
that.
much movement? What can you tell us on?
It distracts them from each other.
Well, there was a group of spectators, some neighbors that turned out when they heard the news, but we have not seen any movement in the Paul Ryan household for a few hours now. Paul Ryan attended the memorial service this morning for the victims of the Oak Creek shooting that happened last week in his district, and then he came home and has been inside ever since. You know, Paul Ryan has spent the whole week here in Wisconsin. He did a couple closed fundraisers for some GOP candidates. He was filming some TV ads for his congressional re-election campaign that he has been, going forward with until, I guess now, when he'll be on the ticket with Mitt Romney. But, Paul Ryan is a big family man, as you've been discussing. He enjoys being here in Janesville and spending time with his family. He told me that he even took his youngest son to Washington to session a couple weeks ago. He comes home on the weekends. He wants to be around and be with his family. He was supposed to go on a family vacation tomorrow to Colorado. Obviously, that looks like that's not going to happen, but obviously his bags are probably packed and ready to go for Virginia in the morning.
Made it easier to cover up maybe to the kids while they were packing. Maybe he knew something before everybody else did. Let me go to one of your colleagues and one of our colleagues that the campaign won't be going to Wisconsin tomorrow morning. They've got a little Wisconsin with the campaign in Virginia. Garrett Haig, who is one of our folks that follows around Mitt Romney, our campaign embeds there. Garrett, you've been walking around the USS Wisconsin. What's it look like? Is it the type of place that the presidential and vice presidential rollout will look good?
Yeah, I think this will be a setting that'll be perfectly befitting a vice presidential rollout. The police here have slowly moved a small group of reporters back and back and back, and now all pretty close together. But I can tell you that even at this hour, there are a handful of Romney staffers inside, setting up the stage. We get them hanging a trio of enormous banners. There's a Mitt Romney flag, a U.S. and Virginia flag. I'm not seeing any Romney Ryan signage or anything to indicate choices of things here on the ground so far. But as folks continue to get moved further and further back, there are still box trucks occasionally going in and other vehicles. We've been told that reporters will be allowed back on the ground here from 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. Folks getting set up for their morning show live shots. So I'll get an opportunity.
He's about to leap on top of the dog.
He is using full-on claws. Evil bastard.
Garrett Haig has been, we've been looking for every little sign, and you pointed out a few hours ago, you were like, you would believe the senior leadership that is following the campaign, and I sent a note internally saying, guys, the entire senior team seems to be with Romney. Something is up. Garrett Haig, thank you very much. David and Andrea, I talk about the one issue big government from Wisconsin, and Wisconsin has been the center, arguably, of this debate about what is the relationship between government and the people.
Well, and more specifically, how does government deal with budget problems, and how does it bring its budget deficit to heel? I mean, that's what a lot of states are facing. That's what Wisconsin was facing. And you had a governor there in Scotland who took on public unions, took on the pension programs, and was willing to break a lot of China, and ultimately prevailed and withstood a recall effort. So that's the state from which Paul Ryan comes. The immediate question on a presidential level is whether on the battleground map, which we still classify Wisconsin as a battleground state, although it's been really tough for Republicans.
Ow, you little heathen! Oh!
Can Paul
Trying to
Ryan
hurt
carry
me.
his state, or can he only
There's
make
no
it?
concept of not using claws.
It's been a long time. I think since 1988.
Get him,
since the
Harvey.
Republicans
Don't
have
smack
carried
that
it.
mom.
And Andrea, one of the things about the final short
I'm gonna
list
lose
of
my
three,
hand.
they all have one other thing in common besides being three white guys.
Oh.
They all hail from the Midwest, if you will, the industrial Midwest of Ohio.
I don't know why he's fighting with me.
Closer to the sort of
Get him, Harvey.
agricultural Midwest, Minnesota, Wisconsin,
Stop fighting with Mom.
wine and plenty. That's no accident. There's no path to 270 for Mitt Romney without two states in that Midwest region. Wisconsin, I think Iowa, Wisconsin, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, throw them all in there. He's got to figure out two of them.
Get him, Harvey.
Ohio and Wisconsin might be your
Got it.
best bet, although Romney is behind right now in Wisconsin. That could be overtaken. I mean, you can have a very energetic Republican Party. You're going to have a very energetic Republican Party. Scott Walker
He's mad.
geared up for those referendums
Mad.
in the center in trying to
You are a pissed off
Romney
kitty.
through in Wisconsin. But you're right, the battleground is clearly for the middle. And you've got these
Got it,
other
Marvin.
factors that we should talk about for a moment. Just what we imagine what we've been living with in the economy. Now you've got this drought. So you've got a region that is really being hit by God, by nature, but it's going to have real effects. Already is having real effects, not only with the corn crop, but now with other crops. And is in every aspect of the economy. So you're going to have farmers who are really hurting, and that is something that makes the Midwest even that more volatile for both sides.
All right, and David, we've talked about the geographical,
Are you
but
gonna
now we
calm
have the
down?
demographic. And we've got the issue of seniors, and we have the issue of Medicare, and that brings us to Florida.
He's looking for
And
Harvey.
the third stop, and I think, frankly, the most important stop of this
I'm
rollout.
gonna see him do the flying leap at a long time.
Tomorrow's always important. The first
Jumps off the couch and like onto the dog's back.
I'd like to get that on video.
That would be funny.
When they hit the state of Florida,
And he just smacked him in the
first
face.
time, that's a big deal. I know for a fact that it's something.
I swear to God, if you could videotape them long enough and get some seriously good footage, it would definitely go viral if we did. Yeah.
On Medicare, because
They
it's not
play
just
all the time.
voters
What are
in
you
Florida or
doing?
other states.
That is my hand, and you
It's also
don't
this
use
whole
your
question of middle
claws.
class. And whether Paul Ryan is used about taxes, is used about entitlement reform, is ultimately going to be something that is abhorrent to middle class voters. And that's, of course, the key voting group that the president wants to make this a contest over and wants to ultimately win. So there's going to be a lot of upfront work to do on what's going to be his biggest liability. And there's no question that Mitt Romney has thought this through about what all the downsides are to picking Paul Ryan. And the Medicare is the one that's flashing bright lights. But it's the overall message that a lot of Romney advisors I talk to are talking about the need for Romney to address in these next sections. VP rollout and his convention speech. How is he going to win the middle class, particularly with some of the liabilities he faces in his own biography?
And Andrea, looking at other parts of the battleground, whether Ryan is a factor, does his youth help at all? Perhaps in Colorado and Virginia, two of the younger states, if you will, in the battleground, with some independent voters
How much time does
who
that thing have to
maybe
video?
less sensitive on the entitlement front.
Yes, I think the independent voters.
It's been going for like 9 minutes.
No, I
The
mean, how
young
much time do
marrieds
you have on
and
it?
younger
How much
voters
time do you
who
have
are
on it?
concerned about
Long
the
time.
solvency
Huh?
and the budget issues.
Long
the
time.
Tea Party energy that might be reignited by this.
Probably an
It's not
hour or
an
more.
accident that they're starting in Virginia. One analogy in Florida in 1992. Who won the New Hampshire?
Knocked the phone out of my hand.
That's good.
Yes.
Go back and look at that.
He reached up and smacked it on my hand because I was holding it too close to him.
What Sanders was talking about in terms of Social Security insolvency, and he referred to Clinton as a pander there, but that didn't work, and that really was the end.
Get him, Harvey. Get him.
So Democratic primaries have shown
Get him.
how close Florida can be when anyone tries to speak very tough talk about Medicare and
Chuck, let's remember too the phrase "change Medicare as we know it." And we've been through the healthcare debate and how easy it was to define something that was complex in a really negative way.